My name is Cecily Fielder. I'm a senior, majoring in English, minor in creative writing. I know I said this in class, but why not say it again? And something that I'm very passionate about that I will get into an argument with is that I have not been a fan of the quote unquote superhero fatigue. Let me explain. I don't even have those pops with me, but I always have pops. I have Monkey D. Luffy with me, Deku from My Hero Academia, and then Adon with me from Loki. I really love Marvel. So let's get into it. People have been discussing that Marvel has been underperforming when it comes to the output of superhero movies. Let me stop you there. I'm not a fan of that. Let me watch this. Marvel movies that came out after Endgame, because that's when people said Marvel died. I don't agree, but we're gonna get into that. Don't even worry. We're gonna talk about it, and I'm gonna maximize my time, so don't even worry. First, Spider-Man Far From Home was technically the true ending of that phase, right? Spider-Man Far From Home, when it first came out, people loved it. Loved it. One of the reasons why they loved it, but it isn't the only reason why they loved it, is because Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield returned to reprise their roles as their respective Spider-Man. And that was one of the best things that has ever happened in a comic book movie. And I firmly believe that, I feel like for a while it hasn't been top. So it set the expectations a little bit high at the moment. And then if you were to check Twitter now, people are literally, in my opinion, I think it's rage bait. It has to be rage bait. But people are now turning on it and saying that that movie is carried by nostalgia when they only had, let's Google, how much screen time did Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire have in From No Way Home? Sorry, I messed up a few times, so I was taking stuff. They only had 40 minutes. Mind you, Spider-Man, the runtime was 2 hours and 28 minutes. They only had 40 minutes. And it's not like they showed up throughout the movie. They literally showed up in the last act. So it literally cannot be carried by nostalgia, because this can be a whole YouTube video by itself. Basically, what I'm saying is that the movie was fine on its own. Cool. I mean, it wasn't carried by nostalgia. But if you want to hear more, please talk to me. Don't even worry about it. Okay, Black Widow. I firmly believe that Black Widow was something that was perfectly made because it was long overdue for Scarlett Johansson. She needed her solo movie. And I hate that she got it after she died. I'm not a fan of the fact that the whole lawsuit between Scarlett Johansson and Disney and Marvel, whatever, this is really Disney, right? Hopefully she's able to reprise her role some other way and come back. But I say all of this to say that if they do, or I think it's confirmed now, whenever they restart / reboot the MCU, I would like to see her again. She was amazing. The drive of her film was something that it literally made us understand why she is the way she is and why she cares so much about the Avengers and why she did what she did in Endgame. It brought it all. You didn't even need that film, but that film was just the icing on the cake to make me cry a little bit more when she passed. So it was beautiful. This whole phase 5, it was literally to make you cry. Then we're moving on. Shang-Chi, one of my favorite comic book characters in Marvel. This man literally is one of the greatest martial artists in the Marvel comic book universe, and now he's in the MCU. I wish he would have shown up after his solo movie. Why haven't we seen him? And it's been what? Please don't tell me it's been 5 years. It's been long enough. We should have seen him again. I honestly believe that the Spider-Man movie that's coming out, because they're using the same directors from Shang-Chi, why not have Shang-Chi show up and teach Spider-Man the way of the spider? It happens in the comments. If you want to know more, please just ask me. I love talking about Marvel. Cool. I would say that Shang-Chi was visually stunning. It was a wonderful story, and it was something new that the MCU needed. And that's about to bring me into my favorite Marvel movie that is very overhated. I loved Eternals. I really loved Eternals, but people did not love Eternals, and I don't know why. Eternals was 2 hours and 36 minutes. If you can sit through 2 hours and 28 minutes, and Eternals was 2 hours and 36 minutes, and people say Eternals was long, I knew that the only reason they was hating on Eternals was because it wasn't something that they were used to. Because these are new fans who just got bought into the MCU, who skipped straight into Endgame because they wanted to see all the heroes in one film. The whole reason that Marvel started was because of its sensibility and intentionality to create a family. Iron Man is someone who is an adopted child who yearns for having someone other than himself and Jarvis. And I can get into this. Literally, Iron Man, he always asks Jarvis, "Are you awake?" And he responds with, "For you, always." He gave Jarvis the sentient ability to rest if need be. And that's why I loved, that's a whole nother video. I say all this to say, I don't know what just dropped, but I say all this to say that people hated on Eternals because it was something different, but it was something different that I truly love, and it was the introduction of a lot of characters that I have been waiting to enter the MCU. They can literally still adopt Judgment Day once the X-Men come into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But hey, man, I want to make a video on that. But okay, now these two, it gets a little tricky. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness was a great Doctor Strange film. I'm not saying it was one of the best multiverse films because it could have been better. But the reason why people hate on that is because of unrealistic expectations that they put on Twitter. Back then, when Marvel was not driven by theories and whatnot on Twitter, on YouTube, shout out to New Rockstars though, the movie would have been great itself because you would not have any expectations. Those cameos were already spoiled to you on social media. Without that, you would have been happy to see Patrick Stewart return as, like, come, bro. You would have been so happy to see Patrick Stewart return as, bro, Professor X was sitting right there, the chair, the iconic 90s. Okay, then it gets really tricky with Thor: Love and Thunder. I will say that they butchered the God Butcher. You don't use Christian Bale and have that be an underwhelming performance. You really don't. I'm sorry. You don't underutilize Christian Bale. His performance was great in the screen time that he had when it like set up his storyline. Cool. They should have took inspiration from Infinity War when Infinity War was Thanos' story and did the same thing with Christian Bale. But then, because us as the audience know that Thor is our hero, does not mean that he is the hero. You know what I'm saying? Because he believed that guys need to die because of what happened to his family, you know? And sure, do your thing. But at the same time, you have to elongate the rationale behind his actions as opposed to forcing a sort of conflict. In addition, we also had Chris Hemsworth and his Thor a little bit too comedic in a situation that really is dire because guys are dying, you know? So I really think they should have played around a little bit more with his grief of Mjolnir because Jane Foster is right there with Mjolnir. But it was just a lot, you know? It was just a lot. But I really was happy that Natalie Portman returned, and in my opinion, it's still a great film, but it could have been better because I have read the comic run. It could have been better. Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. I don't think I need to speak on this one. It was a great film. Ant-Man, it's an amazing film. And rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. That was someone that I really wanted to meet, him and Stan Lee, because I also am creating my own universe. It's called Field of Heroes, and I wanted to meet him and like really have a discussion with him and how did he go about it, but things happen. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Ant-Man should not have won, but that does not mean that Quantumania was a bad film. Quantumania was a payoff of something that us Ant-Man fans have been watching and dissecting throughout his whole trilogy. It was long overdue from the introduction of the quantum realm. And the fact that Kang was present, that was perfect because Kang is literally he's a part of every timeline. He's in every corner of the world. Thematically, it makes sense, especially if you watch Loki. I love Loki, as you can see. The only issue I feel is though people's opinion of the movie would have changed if Ant-Man lost. If he truly died, and the Avengers, the new Avengers, whoever is running the Avengers, we'll get into that. I would have to get into that on my own YouTube video. It would have been perfect. But that does not mean it is a bad film. And then Guardians of the Galaxy, we already know Guardians of the Galaxy by James Gunn was top 10. The Marvels. Oh, I may be biased. I will admit I may be biased because I love Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel. Like, I love her with all my heart. Oh my gosh. I can't get into this one because I get agitated. But Iman literally brought the character to life. She is literally Kamala Khan brought to life, and I genuinely love that. People were a little agitated with the changing of her abilities. That is not what irritated me. I just don't like the eraser. Oh my gosh. We need real Terrigenous storyline come back, you know? Like, oh my gosh. I just wanted to see the team. I just wanted to see the team with the scene with the Terrigenous give her powers, as opposed to them making her an X-Men, you know? Like her, like saying that she has the X gene, where they alluded to the fact that she has it. Like, what's the next film? Oh, before I move on to Captain America Brave New World, which is a fantastic film in my opinion, the Inhumans eraser needs to stop. It needs to stop. If you're a Marvel fan, if you're a comic fan, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Captain America Brave New World was an amazing film, and it revealed a lot about a certain fan base and how, like, they said that he's not their captain, et cetera, et cetera. A black man cannot be Captain America. And it was like that is too woke. They're just being woke for film. I can show you a whole comic run where Steve Rogers himself has said that you are captain and I am Steve Rogers. I can leave it at that. You know what? I will leave it at that. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.